Oh, it has been a while. I have decided to do more gardening content this year. I've scaled back on my aquariums simply because sometimes you need to be realistic and step back from projects that aren't something you can give your all to. And I felt as though I had too many tanks for a while there, and they were all getting algae, and it was becoming kind of drudgery to maintain them. So I've scaled back, and I've decided for the summer I'm going to focus on gardens, outdoors. And so today I wanted to talk about my pond plant plans, and one of my favorite pond plants. So this is the water lotus, the sacred lotus. This is a tuber or rhizome that originated in India about 3,000 years BC. So it is a plant that's grown currently for human consumption, and you can eat, I believe, all parts of the plant. So that's grown, like 70% of that is done in China now. But you can still find lotus flower, lotus seeds, lotus tubers, lotus pods in a lot of Asian cuisine here in the US as well. I got really into lotus plants, I believe with my first big pond back in, I guess that was probably 2010 that I dug that like 3,000 gallon pond that I don't have anymore. I bought a lotus at a garden shop here in Michigan and was just enchanted. These flowers were, what is the word? They just had this inflorescence that you normally see like in fish scales, but in the colors of the plant. And it's important to remember that although they grow in a pond, in a basket, a lot like a water lily, they're not actually part of the Nymphea family. They are called, the Latin scientific name is Nelumbo nicifera. Nelumbo nicifera. And yeah, they've been around since about 3000 BC. And they are an absolutely stunning pond plant. I mean, I like water lilies too, but lotus, stunning. You need one. If you have a container, you can also grow it. You don't need a gigantic pond. In fact, they will try to take over your gigantic pond, which could be cool. I don't know. My pond, my new pond, is under a 150-year-old walnut tree, and so it's not going to get the 6 hours of sunlight a day that they need. So, and I insist on growing them. So my solution is to grow some in a galvanized trough that's used for, feeding farm animals or for growing plants. Taking photos in, all kinds of uses. I love that thing. I've dragged them across the country before because I love them so much. But I've got a trough, and I'm gonna put gravel on the bottom and grow some lotus in there. See what happens this year. So to that end, I want to first show you some pictures of lotus online and then get into starting seeds. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at my 2009 MacBook. Still going. Okay. So this is apparently a giant field of lotus in Thailand. Absolutely gorgeous. And you can see here how the flower rises up above the water. They can be a few inches or sometimes a foot above the water. The leaves will do that as well. It's such an interesting plant, and I really think everyone who's interested in ponds and water gardening should try it. This is just a search I did online of lotus varieties. So there's pink, there's white, There's yellow, there's different kinds of, you know, like single, double flowering, all different kinds. And it's just magnificent. My favorite one, let's see if we can get to it. I believe it's called Charubasu, is that right? Charubasu. Chawanbasu. Okay, but there she is. White, just tinged with pink. Oh my God, is that beautiful. In person, it's incredible. Now, I got my seeds from Amazon. I'm sure you can get them from eBay. That might be more ethical. This is the same company that I bought mine from. And although I don't think mine said dwarf lotus, I bought mine about a year ago and they've been sprouting fine. But that is a Chawanbasu in that lower left corner. Some of these are water lilies, so I don't know what we're getting here. But hopefully there are some beautiful lotus. I've never seen those blue ones in person. I hope they exist. That's cool. I also would direct you to this lotus care sheet. This is from the International Water Lily and Water Gardening Society. I will put the link below. But this has a ton of great information about growing them. And also you can Google like how to grow lotus in containers. So growing them from seed is the most economical way to do it. You get a tiny little bag of seeds, and how they look before you file them is important. Let's find one that hasn't been messed with. Okay, so this one hasn't been filed at all. There's a pointed end and the other end. What you want to do is file down this hard outer seed coat until you see some white exposed. At that point, it will look like this, or, whoops, this. This one is a little small, so I don't know. But you can see, even with this still dry, you can see that there's layers. And this is going to become important after you soak them. We're going to remove this outer layer to help the plant sprout. Okay? So once the end has been filed and white is exposed, you can soak them in water. I've used aquarium water and I've used just tap water. They both work. I guess I would recommend aquarium water over tap water because it's not chlorinated. So that might give you a slightly better chance, but honestly I've had great luck sprouting them, so whatever. I just soak them in this adorable Hearst Castle tiny little coffee cup, and I change the water every day. Now, what's happening, I've already peeled off the dark brown, super hard seed coat, and now we have a hard little seed here, and the sprout just bursts forth from the middle, and it sends up its first leaf, which is the lotus leaf, lotus pad on the end there. Now, none of these seeds have roots yet, so you can either wait until they form roots to plant them in soil, or you can do it now. I'm going to do it now because I've had good luck doing that, so I'm just going to stick with that. Now, the internet tells you to use plants without drainage holes. I didn't have any plant pots without drainage holes, and so I'm using pots with drainage holes. And we'll see what happens. I think that the reason they tell you that is so that it doesn't just spread like crazy and overtake your pond. Because I'm putting mine in a container, I think it'll be alright. So we want to use very heavy, loamy clay soil. The soil of my homeland here in Michigan is kind of the opposite. It's very sandy, rocky soil. So I'm going to use that because I've done it before and had good luck. If you have the, you know, the time and money and everything to get like a heavier soil, then I'm sure it would like that more. But if not, just get some soil. You know, you don't want a bunch of perlite in there. You don't want, you know, mulch in there. But garden soil is going to be fine. Now remember that you are going to be putting a layer of either sand or gravel on top to keep all this from floating away. So just remember that. And it's always good to have a pot that's wider than it is tall for your lotus roots to spread out. So that's why these aren't filled up all the way. All right, so I'm gonna plant a couple. And I'm just gonna put this with the sprouted end up. Just in, I don't know, maybe an inch or so. Okay. Now, some important things to remember once these go into your pond. Lotus want at least 3 months of 75-degree days. We definitely get that here in the summer, but it's only April 20th now, so I'm probably going to keep these in my greenhouse until it's after the frost date, and they'll be happier outside in the containers where they're going to end up. Probably just for a little while I'm going to keep them in this container. This is just like a Rubbermaid thing with a little water in it, in front of a window, and I'm just going to put some in here to keep them moist, and we're going to see how that works out. Okay, that last part didn't record, and I don't know where I left off. Let's see. So once these start to really get going and it's warm enough, it's actually snowing outside, then you're going to put them in your pond or in your container. They can go up to 8 feet deep, but they prefer to start out their life in the water at 6 to 12 inches deep. You can use bricks, rocks, other pots to prop them up and get them closer to the surface. And I don't know why that is, if they need more sunlight when they're young or what, but that's what I've read. They want to be in a low flow area. In the wild, lotus grow in stagnant ponds, pools, so you don't want to put them in a stream or under your waterfall or anything like that. Put them just in a calm place in the pond. They are such a contemplative, meditative flower, I find, if that makes sense, that they deserve a spot where they'll be seen all the time. I used to have a bench next to my lotus in my old house so that I could just sit there and, you know, be with it. Just, I'm telling you, you are going to be entranced by these plants. So don't remember if it recorded the part with actually planting it. Hopefully. But again, you want to cover the surface with sand or gravel so that the soil doesn't float up and the little seed doesn't even float up too. Fertilize, full sun, about 6 hours a day is what they want. And yeah, I think that's about it. I will update you on the progress of my seeds and the project once it moves outside. I predict they'll probably stay in the greenhouse for another month and just get acclimated to outside, and we'll wait till it's, 70s when I plant peppers and tomatoes outside here. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and I will see you soon. Bye.